Okay, how about now? Sweet, there we go. I think we have sound now. Let me know, as always, if the video and audio quality is alright once you have a good viewing experience, but it looks like we're getting right into it, so I'll catch up on the chat right afterwards. But Butcherbird, Swiss Pikeman, Hammond, Black Knight, Rustalal, Scoot, Butcherbird, who I just said twice, I think. Anyways, yeah, Bolero, look, good to see you guys. Good to see you all. Looks like the sound is back, so I'll get back to you in the chat right after this, but let's get to it. Remove the army blocker and my ugly mug, and let's throw up that intro card so we can see what's on the field for us. It looks like we have a Chaos Mirror match between Low Zero and BM Dark Phoenix. This should be an excellent first match of today's tournament. A Chaos Mirror match between two excellent players. So without further ado, let's get right to it and cover these players' armies. So starting with our red player, just to switch it up, looks like we're going to have a very heavy skirmisher front line in the form of Marauder Horsemasters and Marauder Horsemen. So looks like we're going to have, what is this? 2 horsemen and 1 horsemaster on the left flank, and then the same combination on the right flank. Now in the center we have 9 ranked up chosen with great weapons. Are you shitting me? 9 chevrons on top of chosen with great weapons, bringing their melee and their attack and defense to 59 and 57 respectively, which is absolutely insane. And 95 leadership. So we have 3 of those chosen with great weapons ranked up 9 times. I've never seen that. Got Chaos Marauders up in the front line, looks like 4 of them, and then Sartorial, the Everwatcher, is going to be here with his Tentacle Staff. He's going to be bringing Final Transmutation and Plague of Rust. Now, as a reminder, with the new patch out, the bugs for the AoE direct damage spells are fixed, so the game's working a lot better now, but the Cavalry bug is still in place, but I'm sure the beta will be coming through in the near future. Got Marauder Horsemen and Horsemasters for the blue player as well. Looks like 1 Horsemaster and 3 Horsemen. And then we're going to have a front line that has Chaos Marauders, Chaos Warriors with great weapons. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of them, and then a second Marauder on the other flank. Also going to have 2 Manticores up in the air, along with Kolek Suneater on the ground. He's going to have Standard Die, King of the Storm, or whatever the hell that's called, Lord of the Storm, and Foe Seeker. Hey, Greyest Wolf, thank you so much for the subscription, and wishing me good luck on the cast. We got Chaos Sorcerer with Lore of Shadows, Penumbral Pendulum, and Enfeebling Foe on top of him. We'll see if he can get some nice Overcast Penumbral Pendulums on top of the Chosen, because they're going to need all the help they can get, because I tell you what, 9 ranked Chosen with great weapons is insane. But over here, Lord of the Storm coming down on top of some of these Chosen and doing a good amount of damage, hitting a few things there, and here comes that Penumbral Pendulum. And what are we going to see it do? Ooh, do a nice touch of damage too. These guys down to half health. But I would say, Kolek Suneater, you might just want to get out of there, my friend. But actually, as I say that, never mind. He just got the Terror route, sending in the Chaos Warriors with great weapons who are now pouring into the Chosen, who, although definitely going to be more quality warriors, they are outnumbered in a significant way. 5 to 3. So right now, blue player looking pretty strong. He does have Kolek Suneater and the double Manticores there to threaten Sartorial, and Sartorial is unbreakable, as we all know, but he is going to go down quick in melee combat against Kolek and 2 Manticores. So right now, it looks like red player on their heels. Dark Phoenix trying to get something going here. Over here, looks like some of the Chaos Chosen Warriors here are going to be holding out a bit better, but they are once again getting outnumbered, outflanked, and Kolek Suneater is coming in to support his infantry, while Sartorial has been forced to just kind of run around in the back lines, not doing much of anything. Alright. Zero starting to take a more commanding lead in the balance of power as he starts mopping up the rest of the red player's front line. There's still a full health unit of Chosen with great weapons left on the field. But right now Sartorial is looking worse for wear. But there goes an Overcast Final Transmutation. That's doing some nice damage. It caught quite a few units in there, including the Chaos Sorcerer, Kolek, Manticore, and a couple of Chaos Warriors. But it does look like Kolek ran out of it. And it's not going to be enough to turn the tide of this battle from the looks of it. Okay, over here we see a red player just going hard into his skirmish kite game here with his 6 horse skirmishers and Sartorial. If he's going to win, he has to use all of that ammunition and ideally eliminate some key targets. I'm looking at the Manticores here. They're light on armor. You can knock them out really quick, especially if you get them rampaging. But right now, blue player definitely has the advantage. Another lightning cast going down on top of the Chosen with great weapons. Looks like it did some decent damage, and now the final unit of Chosen is below half health, and that's going to hurt. The other two, one of them shattered, and the other one is basically dead to rights. Only 5 models left. Alright, Kolek Suneater taking some javelins to the face. Looks like he's going to catch some of the horsemen out there and get a nice hit at him with his huge old hammer. But now he's coming in, hitting the Chosen with great weapons in the rear. And yeah, the balance of power I think at this point is insurmountable. Sartorial being unbreakable is the only thing keeping Chaos in the fight right now, but he's at 423 HP. But I don't know, maybe our blue player Zero here did just make a mistake. You know, Manticore, one of them getting close to routing, it's wavering here. And if he can eliminate both of them, who knows, maybe we can see a late game comeback here. But alas, we see Kolek coming in with his own skirmish cavalry now. And they're going to be chasing these guys off. And a great first game in this Chaos Mirror match. Does look like Zero going to come out on top, lead this best of 3, 1-0. More weird VM strats. VM's got a playstyle. I mean, I don't... For me, I think the big thing was the rank 9 Chevron on the Chosen with great weapons. That's just a really interesting choice to me. I don't think I've ever seen that. I might be lying to myself. Actually, I'm sure I've seen it at some point in the 4 years I've been playing this game, or however long it's been out. But I just feel like that made this army way too expensive. Like, 3 Chosen is already probably the maximum number of Chosen you ever want. And I think per the rule set, it's the maximum number you can bring anyways. But if you rank them up 9 times, that's a lot of investment. Because these guys are already the most expensive infantry in the game at 1550 apiece. Unless somebody correct me if I'm wrong, or is it 1450? Either way, they're crazy expensive. And if you rank them up 9 times, guaranteed they're going to be closing in on 1,700 per unit, possibly more. And so already you just sank, you know, a quarter of your cost into these 3 units of infantry. And while yes, on paper they would outlast and just grind through these Chaos Warriors possibly, that's not taking into account that, well, the Chaos Warriors have the ability to rear charge 2 of them because they outnumber them 5-3. And it's also taking out of account, like, you know, the things that go in there to support the infantry, spells, single entity monsters, things like that. I just feel like it was such a heavy investment that it really restricted the flexibility of this army. If you would have not chevroned them up, maybe brought 1 less Chosen and then ranked up 2 to 9, I think the extra funds would have been better invested in some more chaff infantry and I don't know, maybe a monster or some monstrous infantry to help provide mass, because otherwise the big thing in this fight was just that Kolek and his Manticores had no mass to worry about. They could dive into the Chosen, dive out, you know, really pick and choose their engagements. There was nothing here to force them to play their hand. But anyways, great. Should be 1900s for triple gold Chev. Man, Butcher Bird, that's crazy. Yeah, 1450. All right, thank you guys for confirming in the chat there. But yeah, first time seeing Chaos Civil War broke your heart. Well, it won't be the last time, Beerless, because Game 3 is going to be a lot of Chaos Civil War, I imagine. Yeah, juicy Chosen. But good to see you all. Hammond, why was Nagash weak? Was he weak? I thought he's like one of the most badass characters in the Warhammer universe. Like, Chaos Demons showed up and we're like, holy shit, this guy's crazy. Blocker. But he is undead, so weak by nature, I suppose. I kid to all of you undead faction mains out there. Undead factions are cool. I'm a big Vampire Coast fan now myself. Looks like we have Lizardmen versus Wood Elves on Langui. Okay. Did we get that right? Lizardman, what else? Generate link. Now let's get that intro card ready. Remember when I used to wear suits and stuff, and now I'm just like over here wearing tank tops? And Black Knight, I'm sorry. I think the answer to your question, which was, why am I always working when you host tourneys? I think the answer to that, Black Knight, is you don't have your priorities in order. You should clearly quit your job so you can watch my tournaments. No, I kid. Don't quit your job. Hey, Dimmy G. Hey, Alizon. Nagash was weak. It's just... Oh, you see, I don't play Vampire Count, so I didn't realize that. But yeah, I think he does say that. Nagash was weak. All right, let's remove my ugly mug. Let's throw up the intro card for round 2 of this best of 3 between Zero and Dark Phoenix. Now that one not working the best, but you get the gist. There's a big lizard toad on the left and Mel Gibson on the right wearing antlers. Halo in the house. Virtual Magi, good to see you. Yeah, Chaos Undivided is clearly divided, Virtual Magi. Alright, let's remove this card, and let's cover our Lizardmen army, led by our blue player first. I'm going to go ahead and remove that foliage, and take a look here. So for the front line in the Lizardmen army, we have Saurus Spears and Saurus Warriors. So we got 2 of each. We're also going to be looking here at some Chameleon Stalkers up front with their explosive shock rounds that they throw in right before they charge. I myself really like the Chameleon Stalkers. I think they're a cool unit. Oxyotl is going to be here as well, the legendary Chameleon Skink Chief himself. He's going to be bringing Master Predator, and it looks like nothing else. Now, behind him, we're going to have 2 regular units of Chameleon Skinks. And then in the rear, we're going to have some Chaff Infantry supporting some Cav. We've got Skink Cohort with Javelins, 2 of them and 1 regular Skink Cohort. And then we're going to have 2 units of Cold One Riders as well, just to provide some of that shock damage and, you know, that mobility and mass. For the remainder of this army, I do believe we're going to be seeing a Solar Engine, carried by that Bastillodon. And is there a second one? Often see 2, but it looks like there is just 1 in this build. And then we're going to round out the forces with a Skink Priest, bringing the lore of Beast. He's going to have Transformation of Kadan to summon that Manticore. And then he's also going to have Block of Doom. Now for our red player, bringing the Wood Elves. Up front, we're going to have 2 units of Dryads. These tree spirits coming to rip into some amphibian flesh. Also have Eternal Guard. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it looks like 5 of them. On the flanks, they do have shields. We're going to have 2 War Dancers in the center, along with I guess there's 3 Dryads, because there's a 3rd one in the rear here. We're also going to be seeing the Lost Sylvan Knights running around the rear. And that looks like it rounds out the Wood Elf army outside of the leader, who is Dryka. She's going to be bringing Penumbral Pendulum and her Dryad summon, nothing else. Great Stag Knights coming out and charging into the Chameleon Stalkers. They do cause terror, so we'll see if they can get them routing. They already got them down close to half health. Chameleon Skinks in the center are getting shot to pieces in spite of their 40% missile resistance. They just cannot withstand all of the arrows flying into them from the Wood Elf forces. But the Saurus Warriors have closed the gap and are getting up close and personal with the Wood Elf army. Nice charge from the War Dancers over there, coming out while the Lizardmen were busy charging in the Eternal Guard, possibly getting a free charge with no counter charge. Oh, Penumbral Pendulum coming through the Saurus Warrior line. Doing some nice damage. Solar Engine rounds coming in. Over here we do see the War Dancers doing a pretty good job against the Saurus Warriors, but I don't think it's like something they like win convincingly. Over here seeing a nice charge from the Cold One Riders into the back of the Eternal Guard, but also in turn seeing a nice charge from the Lost Sylvan Knights into some Chameleon Stalkers and Saurus Spears. Manticore summon coming down from the Lizardmen. Right now, a very even fight as far as I'm concerned. It does look like the Wood Elves are getting a bit of an edge here as they have wrapped up the Lizardmen the Lizardmen left flank and are now in a position where they may start being able to envelop. And as you can see, a lot of the frontline units from the Lizardmen now seeming to be in a bad spot. Balance of power is still relatively even, and the Lizardmen definitely not out of this yet. Solar Engine is still on the field. The Cold One Riders are still untouched and just demolishing units of infantry. Over here, see the other unit of them on top of these Dryads who they have just devastated, but now are in turn getting focus fired by the Glade Guard with the Starfire Shafts. Over here, though, Dryka running away from the Manticore, it seems. Some Wood Elf Spearmen in reserve coming forward to intercept the Saurus Warriors. Alright, here comes another Penumbral Pendulum. Doing some good damage. Terror kicking in for the Lizardmen forces, and now the balance of power is starting to move convincingly towards the Wood Elves. And as you take a higher level view of this battlefield, you can see why that is happening. You got a whole pocket of archers just firing away. All of them still relatively healthy. You know, they've taken damage, but they're good on ammunition. The Lost Sylvan Knights just running around causing terror all over the place. Pink Pony Knight, thank you so much for the subscription, man. I really, really appreciate it. Hope you're having a good time, my friend. Over here, Lost Sylvan Knights pulling back away from the Solar Engine fire. I think the Wood Elves just deciding to play this cautiously, and that's the right decision. But they do need to do something about these Cold One Riders sooner rather than later, because right now, Cold One Riders are diving into the juicy, juicy center, oh so juicy center, and this could be a game-changing play here for the Lizardmen as they dive into that aforementioned pocket of Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts that have been doing so much damage throughout this battle. But will it be enough to turn the tide? Over here, two other Glade Riders Glade Guard pulling back. Lost Sylvan Knights chasing after these Cold One Riders. And this looks like it's going to be the final important engagement. Over here, Lost Sylvan Knights getting distracted by the Chameleon Stalkers, but good micro on the part of Dark Phoenix, getting them right back into the fight and where they need to be. And this is the fight that's going to decide it all, and it looks like the Wood Elves have the ingredients in here to win it. Terror kicking in on top of the Cold One Riders. More Eternal Guard diving in from both sides here. And it looks like the Lizardmen just got sandwiched. The Lost Sylvan Knights there in the juicy center with them, and they are not the best of company. Nice Flock of Doom coming in from the Lizardmen. That hit a ton of units, doing a lot of damage. But yeah, I just have my doubts that it's going to be enough to turn the tide here. But balance of power now going back more towards even. So I've been wrong before. Will I be wrong again? Alright, so taking a higher level view here. Seeing what the Lizardmen have left, it looks like the Skink Priest and Oxyotl are pretty much it. Solar Engine is routing right now, doesn't look like it's coming back, and now that Oxyotl has been found, looks like it's going to be a GG, and Dryka coming over to get up close and personal here. And you know, it's never fun being surrounded by a bunch of green and then finding this purple tree woman running up on you with her big old terrifying claw hands. And so indeed, just like that, it looks like we're going to be going to a tiebreaker. Tiebreakers for today's tournament will be held on Eshin. So we'll see what comes up next. Noxiaudle on the run. Skink Priest still on the run. But yeah.
Uncanny.
Yeah, those mounts are gigantic, the poor little guy. Butcher Bird, for placement tournaments, I do the finals best of 3 now. Decided that a couple months back, just for like player feedback and then also my own timing. Just best of 5s could extend the tournament by, you know, multiple hours. So I decided to go with best of 3s all the way through. So the tournaments were a bit more concise and people weren't playing 7 to 8 hour tournaments as consistently. Hey, Nerob the Clown, good to see you, man. Happy to be here. Dark Phoenix on his hippies. So, but anyway, covering this battle, I mean, I think both players had nice armies. I think Zero kind of played a bit too much to the strengths of the High Elf army. I think he was over-relying on his skirmishers there, not recognizing that 5 units of Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts are going to shred even Chameleon Skinks. And then, you know, Dark Phoenix just doing a good job, you know, like folding up the Lizardman left flank with his right flank, and you know, just using that firepower superiority to dominate across the field. Lost Sylvan Knights also pretty big MVP mention to them. They're a very key unit in that battle, getting so much terror done, and then also just a ton of damage value and a lot of kills. Dryka also just a classy Lord pick. I like Dryka a lot, and nice build overall. So I'm excited we're going to be going to a tiebreaker in the first battle of today's stream. Can you believe it, chat? On that note, I'm going to go take a quick break to grab some water, but I will be right back after I wet my whistle. Alright, and we're back. Welcome to the stream, people. That tastes good. Anyway, couple of great first battles, right? Chaos Mirror match. Then we had some Lizardmen Wood Elf action, which is always fun. And now, can you believe it? We're getting a Beastmen mirror match. 2 mirror matches and 1 best of 3. What are these players up to? Seeming like perhaps they both like to play the same factions. Or perhaps one of the players just likes to pick mirror matches, which is something some players like to do. Kind of a mental game, as a lot of players don't like to play mirror matches for some reason. Myself included. Gets in your head. But I am excited to start doing some other tournaments next weekend for the HWL-8.2 league, which details will be posted today about exactly how that's going to work, because it's going to be separate from the HWL Season 8. Just to be clear, the 32 players who already qualified for Season 8 HW League have already secured their positions, and they have their own playoffs with at least a $500 prize. Now, for the HWL 8.2, the one I've been doing kind of in the interim because I didn't feel like starting a Season 9 until I knew what was happening with Warhammer 3. And now that we know Warhammer 3 is delayed until 2022, I'm definitely going to do a Season 9 of the HW League in Warhammer 2. And not wait for Warhammer 3. Because if it was coming out, you know, this year still, I was just going to wait and do Season 9 this year when Game 3 came out. But now I'm going to do Season 9 in Warhammer 2. So I'm really happy we got the patch, which has improved a ton of the bugs. And then, you know, we'll take it from there. So Season 10 will be Warhammer 3. And Season 9 will be Warhammer 2. But that will begin after we do Season 8 playoffs. So the 8.2 league is going to be 1 army build playoffs. So next week I want to do a single army build tournament for the 8.2 league, and then the playoffs there will be the champions from all of those tournaments just competing in a single build playoff, because I like the idea of single builds. They are appealing to me a lot lately, so I want to get in on that action. But in any case, without further ado, let me remove my ugly mug and the army blocker, and we'll get to the battle that is about to go underway. Alrighty, so here is that intro card. We got Low Zero with the Beastmen taking on VM Dark Phoenix with also the Beastmen, but I put the Warherd of the Shadow Gave just to give it some flavor, you know? So maybe we'll see Kazarak versus Morgor, but unlikely. I'm predicting Torok's duel. But let's go ahead and get into the battle here and see what our players have brought. So starting with blue, we're going to see Zero has Morgor the Shadow Gave. He's going to be bringing his Spawn Summon, Call to Violence, and Foe Seeker. And then for his army, we're going to be looking at a couple of Bestigor. 2 of them. Got Chaos Spawn. We're also going to be seeing Ungor Raiders. 2 units of Ungor Spearman Herd with shields. And I lied, make that 3. We're also going to be seeing the Koroks Man Rippers. And I already mentioned you guys, because if I didn't, I'm going to mention you again, because Minotaurs with great weapons are just a beautiful unit. And then we do have what appears to be some Tuskgor Chariots. Bray Shaman of Wild will also be on a Tuskgor Chariot, bringing Viletide, Traitorkin, and the Jagged Dagger. There's the aforementioned Chaos Spawn and a second unit of Tuskgor Chariots. Now that rounds out this army, so let's cover our red player, who's going to be bringing a lot more mobility, it would seem. We got some Chaos Warhounds with poison and regular Chaos Warhounds, supported by 2 Centaurs here. We're also going to be seeing Groghooves of Wolf's Run, which are the ROR Centaurs that cause poison damage and also have regeneration. Centaurs with throwing axes, going to be supporting them as well. We're going to see the infantry consist of Goreherd. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of them. And then we're going to have the same combination over here. Warhounds with poison, Warhounds 2 Centaurs, and 2 throwing axes. Up in the air, we have the new and improved Flying Malagor, the Dark Omen. 110 speed, well, 121 right now. Beautiful bastard, you. He's going to have Arcane Conduit, Enfeebling Foe, Doom and Darkness. And that's going to round him out. The Crow Lord cometh. So I'm happy to see that we have Morgor versus Malagor. Been seeing a lot of Torok, so it's nice to see it spiced up here. And it looks like Malagor is going to, be able to pick his engagements however he would like. The only thing he needs to worry about is a single unit of Ungor Raiders, as long as he stays in the air. Alright, looks like this unit of Ungor Spearman herd has gotten a little bit isolated, and the Beastmen here, I would say, have an opportunity to smash it before anything else gets there. I would take advantage of that, even though it's just a lowly Ungor Spearman. That's a nice opportunity. Looks like that's not going to be happening here, and over here we're going to be seeing these Warhounds taking some damage. Blue player pushing out, but not getting too greedy. Looks like he's going to be kind of holding back, letting his Ungor Spearman herd push ahead. But over here, it looks like our red player has finally seen the opportunity, and our blue player never recognized the mistake of throwing those Ungor Spearman herd out there so far, and now, just like that, no damage coming in from the opposing player, just smashed him. I do like that the red player, played that cautiously as well, basically waiting for these Spearmen to get close enough for the Gore herd to come out and smash them with the Centaurs and the Warhounds. Over here, seeing a little bit more... Oh no! A little bit more mismanagement here, perhaps. These Centaurs are kind of like running through them somehow. Enfeebling Foe is going down on top of them, but just like that, it does look like a lot of them got through, interestingly enough. But, yeah, right now, our blue player... our blue player taking some damage. Oh, Vile Tide coming in. Doing a good bit of damage. So trying to take stock here of the battle. We see that the red player with his mobility, Dark Phoenix, just kind of pulling back, refusing engagements with his Gore herd, except for engagements he sees that he's going to win convincingly. And so far I'd say he's done a good job picking some good targets. He's got these Centaurs eliminated for the most part. He eliminated that unit of Spearmen way in the beginning of the battle too. And now he's here in the back line going after the Ungor Raiders. And the only thing to oppose them are going to be these Chaos Spawn, which aren't going to be the best against Centaurs, honestly. Like, Centaurs, well, at least the regular Centaurs, maybe not the ones that throwing axes on the charge, can do a lot of damage to Chaos Spawn. But right now, looks like our blue player, Zero here, trying to keep his forces together at this point. He's pushing out in a couple different areas. But now it does look like he's pulling back in, trying to get some formation back so he can, get his bearings and fend off against these Centaur attacks. Because right now, our red player is pretty much completely surrounded his army, and is just picking and choosing isolated units to eliminate. And that's, the power of mobility. If you're playing against a player who can handle the micro and pick and choose his targets well, then it's a very difficult thing when you get into this situation. But right now, I do think Zero is doing the right thing. He's circling the wagons, recognizing that he doesn't have the speed to catch these units. The Gore herd included are just going to be able to stay just out of reach, and then counter charges with Centaurs, and the Poison Warhounds are going to be coming in. But right there, it looks like the counter charge by the Tuskor Chariots and the Bestigors, just in general, having good armor and good stats, means the Centaurs aren't really going to get a good trade on that one. So blue not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. Korok's Manripper still very healthy. Same to the Minotaurs with great weapons, the Chaos Spawn and both Bestigor, and the Tuskor Chariot. So really this is anybody's game. The throwing axes really going to have to do some work here soon against the Chariots and the Minotaurs with great weapons, I think. And honestly, for that matter, the easiest target might be the Bestigor, and they're going to be high value as well. Well, thank you, pretty girl. Lewis Monroy. Kate Blappin. Alright, Centaurs. The throwing axe is coming in, throwing a volley here. These Tuskor Chariots have seen better days. Another volley and one of them might die. Right now, though, Centaurs stopped moving for just a second and then took some damage. But over here, there you go. Second volley knocking some of these guys out, and here comes the charge from the throwing axes, and just like that, these Tuskor chariots are gone. And the spearman herd that was coming in to support them is also gone, because you have these gore herd that just countercharge them and are just going to be shredding them. No contest between Ungor spearman and gore herd. Malagor watches on approvingly from the skies. Alright, Morgor doing a ton of work on his own well. Still full health. You know, I guess he has regeneration, so it's hard to tell. Yeah, no, he's pretty much just full health. Oh, here comes a big engagement. Over here, Minotaurs are with great weapons. Went in for a charge against the Centaurs of throwing axes, but they pulled off at the last second and got a nice charge into these gore herd. But enfeebling foe getting cast down on top of them, and now the throwing axe are coming back, and I think this might be the nail in the coffin. You have the Minotaurs with great weapons, enfeebling foe, so their combat stats are crap. Even Malagor is diving into combat. He is not a large unit, so bonus versus large doesn't matter against him. And wow, Malagor, you're dangerous, man. You're a risky fellow. All right, at this point, Chaos Spawn, Minotaurs with great weapons, and the Ungor Raiders have all been eliminated, and I think those are really important units for him. I mean, I think our blue player here, just because he has his heroes left and the full health Bestigors left, is still in a very strong position. But the problem now is these Centaurs aren't out of ammunition, and they are doing a lot of work to the Bestigor. Alright, we're going to see a Centaur fist here coming in to throw some axes, and it looks like even a counter charge from those Centaurs into the Bestigor herd with great weapons, but that's a bad move on this current patch, and then a nice Viletide coming in to punish him a bit as well. Right now, balance of power going right back to dead even, though. This isn't over. The Viletides from Malagor, he should have an abundance of them since he has that Arcane Conduit, but he didn't bring his other abilities. Give him a bit more access to win some magic. Oh, Tuskor Chariots going out too far, taking a volley to the face. But the ammunition is getting low for these Centaurs. These guys only have 2 axes left, 5 axes on them. Over here, they actually have some pretty decent ammunition. Minotaurs are great weapons, trying to come back into the fight. There's only 4 models left. They're going to start routing again. And they are not routing the right way. Okay, there they go. You run away from the axes. Nice move over here, sending out the ROR Centaurs throwing axes to chase off the remaining Minotaurs with great weapons. Gorok's Man Rippers. Goros Man Rippers, my bad. No, Koroks. That's right, Koroks. Gorok should have some Man Rippers, though. mean, at this point, the Bestigor looking really strong in the late game. But throwing axes, still coming in. Dragging him down. Vile Tide going down on top of Dark Phoenix. And a Doom and Darkness over here to try to wrap up some more of these Unkor Spearmen herd. I tell you what, these two players just playing at such a high level right now. Alright, Shattered Gore Herd. Blue player trying to corral some more red units in. But he's just having a hard time. He doesn't have the mobility here. Without the speed, without the mass. This is just a hard thing to pull off. But over here, getting a counter charge with the Chaos Spawn and Korok's Man Rippers on top of these Centaurs. There they go, trying to pull back now. Oh, here comes this Chaos Spawn summon from Zero. That putting a lot more pep in his step. The balance of power reflecting it in a significant fashion, giving him the edge. But they do time out, so will they be able to get enough done while this Chaos Summon lasts? Yeah, I mean, right now, a red player cannot go toe-to-toe in this fight because the Bestigor are just too good. And he has to keep on just cycling in and out to try and get the damage done. And right now, you know, he's fulfilling the attacking role. He's throwing axes. But it looks like he's probably got, like, what, 1 round left? Okay, 2. Over here, charge from the Centaurs into the Tuskor Chariots is sending them packing. Vile Tide coming in, though, doing some nice damage. Alright, Gore Herd securing their flank against this ruined church. Oh, Zero. Bray Shaman of Wild getting caught out there. Malagor the Dark Omen even diving in. Enfeebling Foe popped on top of him. But Korok's Man Rippers and the Bestigor Herd coming in. That was a very nice play by Zero, bringing the balance of power right back in his favor. And where are those Chaos Spawn? It looks like the summon has timed out. Man, this is so close, but it's starting to look pretty rough here for Zero. But just like that, all ammunition has been expended, so now our red player needs to get into combat. Alright, blue player can decide to just hold still, and it looks like he's going to be trying to opt for that. Getting a huge charge, smashing those Centaurs with the Bestigor Herd. Oh, Traitorkin! Oh no, it's an Overcast Doom and Darkness. Overcast Doom and Darkness going down on top of the blue player, and that is proven to be devastating. Call to Violence going in to counteract it, but an Enfeebling Foe also on top of some of those Bestigor, and just like that, the surrounds are so real. Morgor the Shadow Gave and the Bray Shaman all by themselves, and soon it's just going to be Morgor the Shadow Gave. The spooky, spooky spell. Nice play there from Dark Phoenix with Malagor the Dark Omen. Morgor the Shadow Gave is surrounded. His skull dreads are not looking the best. Over here, did we just get another Chaos Spawn summon? Yes, we did. Oh my god. An Enfeebling Foe going down on top of that too, and Malagor the Dark Omen has, the Crow Lord himself has dived down on top of Morgor and is having a go at him. Yeah, Morgor the Shadow Gave, more like Morgor the Shadow Grave. I see you, Hammond. My god, look, Malagor's still kind of getting whomped. Call to violence. But there he goes, the route is in, and a beautiful game to both players, and an excellent series. Dark Phoenix in a comeback from a 0-1 deficit to win that best of 3, 2-1. Fantastic. Oh, the Dark Peacock flies again, indeed. I mean, looking here, Morgor doing great for himself. The Bray Shaman of Wild getting almost 2k value there. Beautiful stuff. Bestigors not getting that much like paying for themselves in value, but you know, hanging on till the bitter end. But our Malagor player, Dark Phoenix, doing a really good job just not playing into this army strengths, trying to avoid confrontations with the Bestigor herd as much as possible. But overall, and what a wonderful series. Seriously, great job, you guys. It's a pleasure to be back casting a tournament right when it starts at 9 a.m. Pacific. And yeah, these guys rock. So thank you, Zero. Better luck next time. And a huge congrats to BM Dark Phoenix, who we may see later in today's tournament. So on that note, let's go find another one. What's up, Cypher? Okay, let's find another one here. Sarix, Pugnoban. Sweet, that one should just be starting too. I look like I live in a trailer. Don't judge a book by its cover. But actually, you can kind of do that sometimes. It's my Chang, my Bia Chang shirt. All the tank tops I wear, I got in either Laos, Vietnam, or Thailand, or Cambodia. The Trailer Park Boys. Alright, let's throw up an army blocker here. Say what's up. Yeah. Alright, we got Zarx picking Wood Elves and banning Greenskins in Bretonia. Alright, blue faction, Wood Elves. And we got RTK represented by Zarx. And looks like we're just waiting for the counter pick by XMT Pugnoban, whose name we will throw up there right now. XMT. Hey, that dragon's so hyped for Cathay. Me too, man. They look awesome. I'm hyped for Siege 2. I agree with Party Elite and other content creators' criticisms about how the Chosen look. I'm hoping, trying to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to fix it. But yeah, they'll definitely be hearing from me if not. But yeah, Cathay looks pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. I'm excited to have another Empire kind of faction in the game, because there really is no other faction like Empire. You know, it's just it's a fun play style, and I'm excited to have another human faction that's kind of based in that Victorian style warfare, I guess I would say. You know how the Victorian era, they fought in hot air balloons, you know, and turned into dragons, that stuff. Oh! Charix, got it. So the CZ, I was pronouncing it like Czar for some reason, but in Polish it is a CH sound for me in English, so Charix. Charix. So I will keep that in mind moving forward. Also, all players, please feel free to shoot me one of those messages if I'm ever butchering your name pronunciation, because I would like to fix it if I can. So, Charix. Got the army blocker up, right? Yep. Yeah, damn, that dragon looks so good. Like, clearly, Coatl and stuff was, you know, something they were working on probably because of the Cathayan dragons, because, you know, they are going to move in that serpentine fashion like, you know, Chinese dragons do, which I'm really excited for. I'm super stoked to see all the different, you know, types of dragons. Did he pick dwarfs? Oh my god, he did! The Madman. Got a dwarf wood elf matchup. When's the last time I've seen one of these damn things? Want to become famous? Oh my god. I'm so happy you guys are here. I do want to become famous. How do I? Big follows. Oh no, really, what a deal. I was reading an obituary written by AI the other day, and it was killing me, man. It killed me. Hey, Jay Phoenix, good to see you, man. What the hell's going on here? Cool. Looks like we're all good to go. Noodle! Blocker and my face. Let's see what the matchup is. Aha! RTK Charix versus XMT Pugnobon. This is Wood Elves versus Dwarfs. And yes, I'm chuckling because I put MXT because I'm dyslexic apparently. But round one between these two fine players. So let's also fix that scoreboard. It is not 1-2. It is 0-0. And the map is Oakenhammer. So starting with our blue player this time, we're going to see the Wood Elves. Now, looks like we're going to have a healthy number of Eternal Guard, 5 to be precise. And where are they getting deployed? Okay, in a very wide formation here, the 5 of them. And then we're going to have some War Dancers. War Dancers will be on the wings. In the center, looks like we're going to have Wildwood Rangers. So 3 War Dancers, 3 Wildwood Rangers. And then we're going to have a whole lot of Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts. Five of them as well. Now, for the Lord, up in the air, we're going to have a Spellweaver of High Magic on top of an Eagle. She is going to be bringing Apotheosis, Soul Quench, Tempest, Arcane Conduit, and Loic's Blessing. So I like this choice a lot. That's cool. Loic's Blessing for that 24-second invisibility and 25% speed is a pretty cool thing to bring. And then in case there's Gyrocopters, you have Tempest just in case. But over here, going over our red player and the Dwarf army, have the defensive geometry in full swing. Long beards on the front line and the wings. Warriors of Dragonfire Pass holding down the center here. They should be able to shred through any Dryads. Also have more long beards, bringing it to a total of 4. Now in the center, we're going to have Quarrelers and Rangers. Looks like we're going to have 3 Quarrelers that I can see, 4 Rangers, or no, sorry, 3 and 3. Oh wait, 4 Quarrelers, and then we're going to have 2 Bugman's Rangers supporting 2 regular Rangers. Now, for the rear guard, I think we have Dwarf Warriors. Yes, we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For the leadership, we're going to have a Lord who's bringing Foe Seeker and nothing else. Man after my own heart. Simple, straight to the point, both of these armies. We'll see what happens. Side saddle on an eagle is a bold move, Harbeck. It's a bold move, Cotton. Oh, hitting the tree. That was just off target. Charek's having a little bit of a sad moment there. Tree too strong. Seriously, a tree protecting a dwarf? What is this madness? Eternal Guard coming forward, but look at this. They are getting turned into pincushions before they can even close the gap onto the Longbeards. Longbeards are going to smash. Eternal Guard do have armor piercing. That's about all they got going for them. Alright, Glade Guard starting to focus down the Dwarf Quarrelers. Gotta remember, Quarrelers have bronze shields on top of their 80 armor. So get that 33% missile block chance. Alright, Wildwood Rangers having to dive into the front line now. Those initial Eternal Guard just taking way too much damage. Quarrelers and Rangers all focusing on the Wildwood Rangers now. A nice decision. Alright, Glade Guard eliminating one of the Quarrelers. They need to start targeting other ones now. Wildwood Rangers already starting to lose a lot of health. You see, yeah, this Wood Elf Infantry isn't up to snuff against the Longbeards right now. And just the overwhelming numbers of Quarrelers and Rangers, I think, is giving the edge to the Dwarfs here in the ranged combat, especially since, you know, the Wood Elves have to pay extra for armor piercing to do damage against all these heavily armored Dwarfs, whereas the Rangers at 525 and the Quarrelers at 650 are just going to be, you know, crushing wild War Dancers and, you know, anything else they throw at them that doesn't have much armor. Balance of power really shifting towards the Dwarfs at this point, and Pugnoban looking to be in a pretty dominant position here. as we approach the mid-game. Alright. Some of the Longbeards making a mad dash for the Glade Guard, but they've turned around to crush the Eternal Guard, but looks like that's going to be a mistake as they get shot in the back. Wildwood Rangers diving into some more Longbeards. Soul Quench coming down. Ooh, nice Soul Quench. Doing some good damage onto those Bugman's Rangers who are all in densely packed formations. Glade Guard starting to get some nice eliminations. They need to stop wasting ammunition here, though. Every single shot counts, and when they're just shooting... oh, never mind. This unit isn't shattered. That was my mistake. My bad. They're shooting the Bugman's Rangers. Shut up, HW. Yeah, Dwarf Skirmishers too efficient by 4, and Wardamonchi definitely agree with you there. The Dwarves just have that huge advantage in defensive skirmish fights because the Corlers have the shields. And, you know, when you have that much armor and shields, it's a pretty devastating combination. Yeah, this is over. Just because, yeah, there's, you know, even if the Wood Elves eliminate all of the Dwarf infantry, they wouldn't be able to defeat the Dwarf Corlers and Rangers in combat. Yeah, that's the main thing I would say here is, like Wardamonchi was saying, and sorry for butchering the pronunciation that, I'm sure. You need some mobility to compromise the Dwarfen backline. If he had, let's say, 2 Glade Riders, I honestly would recommend 4 in this matchup. They're cheap, and, you know, it's not like they do a ton of damage against Dwarfen infantry or anything like that, but they're just important harassing units. They give you mobility that the Dwarfs would have a hard time dealing with. There's no Slayers in this army, and you can use that mobility to just constantly harass the backline, shut down, you know, Ranger units for sure. They would be able to beat. The Corlers would be tougher enough to crack, but with enough charging and rear charging, they would be able to eliminate them. But more importantly, they'd be able to at least tie them up so they weren't shooting constantly, because that fight was, the front line engagement was over, like, before these War Dancers and Eternal Guard, like, even closed the gap. Like, the Eternal Guard got eliminated so hard by the Dwarf firepower there. I mean, you're talking about 9 ranged units here, just pumping these poor little Elves full of arrows. They didn't have the shields, you know, because the Eternal Guard with shields have that silver shield, so that's what, 45% block chance, which is significantly better. And yeah, Lost Sylvan Knights could also be strong against the Dwarfs. A lot of people like to bring them because the dwarfs struggle to deal out magic damage. So, you know, they can be quite effective there. But yeah, nonetheless, I just think mobility really key there. But it's really your play style, you know, because a lot of Sylvan Knights, they can do a ton of work there, but you can afford 4 Glade Guard or Glade Riders for the cost of 1 Lost Sylvan Knight. Sad tree noises. What are sad tree noises, Mr. Right Face? Saw a Drika rush build overwhelm the dwarf line quickly and jump all over the back line before they were able to realize their value. Hell yeah. That's awesome. I like the sound of that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, take a quick bio break, but don't go anywhere. Right now, we're going to be seeing why did I just forget? I'm just kidding, I didn't forget. Score. Pugnoban leads 1-0 after a dwarf victory. And now it does look like we're going to have Skaven against Warriors of Chaos, perhaps? See Treebeard when he sees Saruman's domain. Okay, Harbeck, thank you. I've seen that millions of times, so yes, good point. I know what sad tree noises sound like. A wizard should know better! Ooh. Yeah, that's more hound dog than Treebeard, but you get the point. Oh yeah, but bio break. I'll be right back. All right, and we're and back just in time. Would you look at that, chat? Here we are. We got the Warriors of Chaos versus the Skaven RTK Charix versus XMT Pugnoban. And that's right, I didn't fix it for the second round either. MXT, the clan has to change their name. You heard it here first. Now loading into the map, we will cover the players' armies, starting with Pugnoban. Alrighty, so going over here to Pugnobon's army, we're going to be seeing Skaven slaves. Surprise. Also going to have a lot of clan rats here to form the bulk of the front line. Looks like we have 4 units of them. Going to have some clan rats with spears protecting the back line along with Eshin triads. Warplock Jezzails and the avalanche mortars going to be the ranged power here for the Skaven army. Got some rat ogres here in the center there to protect them, providing that, you know, mass and that heavy support. Got another 2 rat ogres on the wings. In the center, 2 poison wind globadiers. And then for the hero compilation, we're going to have 2 assassins and Lord Skrulk. Assassins are going to both bring Rival High Talisman and Assassin's Trophy. Lord Skrulk will be bringing the Liber Babonicus, Rod of Corruption, Pestilent Birth, and Vermintide. Pretty straightforward Skaven build here. I do like it. And that single Skaven slave up front with 2 chevrons. Now our blue player bringing the Forces of Chaos. Going to be seeing Marauder Horsemen on the wings. Just 2 of them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Chaos Spawn. Chaos Marauders. Looks like 5 of them. And then we're going to have 2 units of Aspiring Champions here. Up in the air, we do have a Chaos Sorcerer with fire. Going to be seeing... Oh, wow. That looks so cool. A Burning Head, Kindle Flame. And then we have the Exalted Hero. Over here, Sartorial the Everwatcher bringing Final Transmutation, Scroll of Power, Arcane Conduit, and Stand or Die. And the Poison Wind Mortar, or sorry, the Avalanche Mortars. I'm getting a successful volley off here, smashing half health out of these Chaos Marauders in 1 volley. I would like to see them target this. Oh god. Avalanche Mortars doing the Chaos God's work. That's vicious. Did they buff the Avalanche Mortar? I need to go check the patch notes again because that is, ooh, devastating stuff. Yeah, just every time, half health, just smashing them. Avalanche Mortar, they are aptly named. The Skaven so far looking pretty strong, at least in being able to dominate the chaff infantry fights. Chaos Spawn coming into the back line, I think getting into a bad engagement here. They're getting on top of Poison Wind Globadiers, but Eshin Triads and Rat Ogres were there to intercept, which means you have the bonus versus large, you have the mass to pin the Chaos Spawn in place, and they're losing health quickly. Over here, though, the Chaos Forces have broken through that portion of the Skaven front line, and now Aspiring Champions, Marauders, and Chaos Spawn are pouring through. Alright, right here, Exalted Hero getting charged by the Rat Ogres and the Clan Rat Spears, but he's doing okay so far. Both of the Assassins taking some serious damage. It looks like Rival High Talisman has been popped, though. Rod of Corruption as well, doing a lot of damage from Skrulk. Skaven have the lead in the balance of power right now. Avalanche Mortars targeting these Marauder Horsemen who are getting chased by Clan Rat Spears. And it just looks to me like Skaven, as long as they can keep their army together and not completely terror out, you know, they can do this. That was a pretty obvious statement for me to make, but I hope that makes sense. It's like I can't discount Chaos just yet, because Sartorial, the Exalted Hero, and the Caster are all on Manticores, and Skaven is a faction that is quite susceptible to terror routes. But right now, the Skaven have the edge. They have a lot of chaff here. Their skirmishing forces haven't been shut down yet, so they're still getting a lot of damage over time with the Poison Wind Globadiers, you know, the Warplock Jezzails. And at this point, it just looks like Chaos is running out of steam. So Charix on his heels. Will he be able to bring it back here? He needs to get some very timely terror routes down here if he wants to get it done. Sartorial coming after the Exalted Hero. Assassin's Trophy on top of him. He is taking a ton of damage now. Oh, the Assassins just tearing into this Exalted Hero. Rat Ogres on the ground too, providing that mass to hold them in place. And the Exalted Hero is getting sliced and diced in a terrible fashion. Rival High Talisman also popped, which is just debuffing all of the Chaos Forces' melee attack stats down to just nothing. And Skaven is starting to look dominant across the battlefield here. Charek still has some unbreakable units in his army, still has some aspiring champions that he needs to get into combat right now, you know, push these guys in ASAP. But here comes the final transmutation, and holy hell, this final transmutation caught both assassins, caught Lord Skrull. It looks like he ran out of it, but one of the assassins just died. Terror Routes going down on top of those Rat Ogres, and Sartorial, stand alive, stand alive. I don't know why he did that, but it's over. Sartorial moving forward, stand or die is popped on top of him, giving him some extra melee defense, and he's going straight for Lord Skrull. He's got his number. Oh, he's flying. Looks like going to be a swing and a miss, though. Rat Ogre's getting on top of Sartorial. The Assassin coming in. And that's going to be all she wrote, chat. Sartorial doing his best to use his crazy charge animation to escape combat as much as possible. And will he be able to do it? Getting a big charge on top of Sartorial. On top of Skrull. But Sartorial, Big Bird himself, going to go down for the count. And that's going to be a GG. Look at him, all of his beautiful eyes. Hey, Scoot. I'm glad he got me. Hey, Chakra Man. How are you doing? Sartorial, a one-man wrecking ball as always. A one-bird wrecking ball. Exalted Hero doing good work, but then he got caught. He got caught hard on the ground by the assassins and some Rat Ogres, and it was downhill from there. I just think I would like to see more mobility in this Chaos Army. Wolf Rats, or not Wolf Rats, Warhounds, maybe Marauder Horse Masters, something like that. Maybe some Forsaken. Aspiring Champions are cool. I'm definitely a fan of them, but not so much in the Skaven matchup. But yeah, overall, very well played here. 2 Pugnomon. Don't want to take away from this. This was a nice build. Avalanche Mortars just being crazy good there, just eliminating so much Chaos Infantry super quick. Warlock Giselles doing their job. Rat Ogres, an absolute necessity. But as I say with all good Skaven builds, which is clearly evident here, you know, just a little bit of everything, a lot of different options. You got your close range fire, long range fire, anti-large, anti-infantry. You got your Rat Ogres to provide the mass unit of elite infantry to help out against those large single entities, and then you got clan rats, and that's it. You know, the assassins to deal with heroes and monsters too. Yeah, I mean, it's just a straightforward, nice Skaven build, and XMT Pugnomon are going to win that series 2-0. Better luck next time to RTK Charix, and congratulations to Pugnomon. We'll see you later in the tournament. Skrulk is the man. Oh, nice Whiteface, or right face. I like that. Skrulk and Plague Monk themed was your first tabletop army. Alright, let's go check the brackets and see what's going on here. Also, I'll throw on display capture so y'all can see it. Here we are. Got good turnout today. So Legion is up against Dark Phoenix somewhere. I'd like to watch that if we can find it. Legion defeating Deadly Bunnies and Butcher Bird. Dark Phoenix defeating Zero, a match we just watched recently. Human Boy, yes, defeating Lord Valusia. Now he's up against Pantalonade, who defeated Papa Palpatine. That's another great match if we can catch it. Pugnomon, who has defeated Charix, which we watched, and Penguin Force. Odium Dactyr defeating Rusty and is now up against Pugnoban. Meanwhile, down here, No Cane, No Gain defeating the Phoenix King. And now we have Hanadins versus CC3 Artisan Tech Priest, who defeated Killer Inu. So, maps today are Oakenhammer, Castle Drakenhof, Karagazgal, Wyvern Lake, Langui, and Cliff of Beast. And for the tiebreakers, it is Eshin. Now, let's go ahead and get back to finding the battles, now that we're kind of familiar with who's playing today. Dark Phoenix looks like he's in a lobby with somebody, but Pants versus Human. Because I think that is RTK. Yeah, Pantalinade. Hey, AC Maiden. Good to see you, man. I am back and kicking indeed. Hey, what up, dude? Alright, Human win 1-0. Okay, so Human's got 1 point to 0. And give me 1 second while I get things updated. There we go. That looks good. This is round 2. And we're the factions final, I forget. Alright, Anthony, it's his turn. He's picking Beastmen versus Dark Elves from Human Boy. Counter pick with Dark Elves against the Beastmen. That's an interesting choice. Don't see that too often. I tend to think the Beastmen have a good matchup against Dark Elves. Probably more so now with the new patch. But we will see. Pants versus Human, the eternal struggle, virtual magi. Sorry I missed that. That's hilarious. Oh, goodness gracious. Blue faction is the Dark Elves versus Beastmen. Yeah, the Thunder Dragon gave me goosebumps too. Make a right face. That, yeah, it was a great trailer. I enjoyed it a lot. Some of it a bit too dark for my liking. I would have like, not like dark tone wise, but like dark as in like I couldn't see things. But yeah, overall super stoked. I like to have a more defensive style faction in the game. I'm excited to see the variety, you know? It looks good because Kislev and Khorne both look pretty aggressive, pretty shock and awe, whereas Cathay definitely looks more like, yeah, we got a lot of halberds, cool gunpowder units. I'm excited to see their playstyle overall, but it looks like it's going to be cool. And strong air forces by the looks of it. I want to get a better look at those weirdly scaled Pegasus Knights they seem to have. Yeah, very excited for Cathay. Excited to see the new Lores of Magic. I'm a real big nerd fan of the Lores of Magic and Warhammer. I think it's just super cool. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, same here. I think that's what's so great about the game already, though, is just like the variety in factions. Yeah, very hard to see a lot of the air battle. I almost feel like that was intentional because I feel like, I don't know, maybe they just aren't quite done with Siege or something because it seemed darker whenever it was Chaos Forces than the Cathayan forces, which is totally fair. I'm going to hold it against them if they're just not done with Siege or something, but they better, you know, release some stuff soon. I'm just so excited to see Nurgle and also Slaanesh. I want to see how fucking sexual they get with it. They just lean in hard to the Slaaneshi theme. Alright guys, here we go. Let's remove that army blocker and my ugly mug. And then we're going to get that intro card up. So here we have Human Boy, yes, yes, with the Dark Elves taking on Pantalonade with the Beastmen. This is round 2 of their best of 3, and Human Boy leads 1-0. So let's start with our red player leading the Beastmen. Now, for the front line here, it does look like we have some Ungor Herd going to be coming in hot. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of them in the center. And we're going to have Ungor Spearman Herd. Looks like we're going to have 4 units of them, 2 on either flank. For the mobility, we're going to have throwing axes. Looks like 2 of them in the center, regular Centaurs on either flank, supported by Warhounds. Over here, we're going to have Poison Warhounds and regular Warhounds. And we're going to have the Sons of Goros over here, supporting the Bray Shaman of Wild, who is on a Tuskor chariot. Got Traderkin, as well as Devolve and the Jagged Dagger. Then we're going to have Morgor the Shadow Gave with both of his summons, and a Gorbull. Now for the Dark Elves, we're going to be seeing, hell yeah, Hydras and a Charybdis. So got Dread Spears, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to have 2 units of Blackguard and Agarond. We have the Chill of Sontar, throwing down an icy breath right into the Ungor Herd. The other Hydra firing a breath into the Centaurs of throwing axes. And then we have a Charybdis in the center, some Dark Riders with shields, and Marathi on foot going to be running into this fight. She is going to be bringing, looks like the Wand of Caridon, Soul Stealer, Heartrender in the Dark Sword, Enchanting Beauty, and Arcane Conduit. Man after my own heart. Dread Spears coming forward to get into combat. They'll do just fine against Ungor Herd. And we got so many heads in this fight. Alright, Dark Riders diving into the Centaurs over here. Blackguard and Agarond coming in to support. There are some Ungor Herd here, but yeah, Dark Elves trying to exact some revenge on the Beastmen there. The Beastmen do lead in the balance of power significantly. Gorbull coming in to fight the Charybdis, but all he has to help him are Ungor Herd. No Ungor Spearmen nearby. And Dread Spears are now getting into the fight too. Oh, Chaos Summon coming in on top of the Dread Spears. Hydras are now into the fight. Tell you what, we had a monster match. It was a mash. It was a monster mash. Wand of Carry Dawn coming down into the Sons of Goros by the looks of it. They took some damage. Over here, Flock of Doom coming in on top of a Soul Stealer coming in on top of the Beastmen forces. The Charybdis and the Hydras. Everybody just crammed in here. I'm gonna go ahead and hide the trees so we can see a little bit better. But taking a higher level view of the battle, you know, you can see the Beastmen just kind of have units sitting around the peripheries. Possibly not a bad idea. You don't want everything in this big terror blob fight engagement at once. And the Charybdis and the Hydras, you know, they're taking some damage. Hydras can regenerate through it, so that's okay. Marathi is still very healthy, but I think the problem that's happening here is the throwing axes have nothing to worry about now. So they're just coming in and killing the Black Art of Nagorond. Decision I highly agree with. And I just don't know. Charybdis is taking a lot of damage. Hydra is taking a lot of damage. Gorbel is still around, somersaulting away. Ungor Spearmen Herd are getting in here to support. Poison Warhounds are coming in to apply that poison damage, and the balance of power is very much climbing against, or stacking against, the Dark Elf forces here. I do like that they were able to get into the trees, because those trees do help them block some of the axes that are getting thrown at them. But it's also a double-edged sword, since the Beastmen large units don't suffer any penalties in the trees. Over here, Terror kicking in. Black Art and Nagorond coming back into the fight, and now you can see the Dark Elves coming back in the balance of power once again. Marathi with Enchanting Beauty and her Heartrender and the Dark Sword, just such powerful debuffs. And when everything's just forced to fight in a big blob on top of the Dark Elf forces like this, she's a very potent force. Alright, Beastmen looking like they're kind of on their heels, trying to figure out what to do. Because now, you know, the Chill of Sontar is healed right back up to full health. The War Hydra is healing up to full health as we speak, you know. He's over half health again. Terror kicking in on every unit they get close to, because these Ungor units are not going to be able to stand up against Terror. However, as they say that, they do have the expendable trait, so at least it won't hurt the morale of the other units in the Beastmen army. Chill of Sontar doing a nice little breath there into the Centaurs of throwing axes. Oh, they just roasted some Centaurs. That's what they did right there. Over here, Marathi leading the charge forward. She's got Soul Stealer to keep her healthy. Charybdis and the War Hydras both coming into combat. Overcast Devolve cast down here, debuffing the melee attacks, charge bonus and speed, or charge speed and speed of all the units in here. But there goes a Soul Stealer to counter. Soul Stealer doing a ton of damage, and just like that, the balance of power coming back to the Dark Elves. You can see the red getting edged out from the middle there. Will the Beastmen be able to bring this back or not? Right now, you have the Sons of Goros diving in there, giving some physical resistance to the Gorbul, as well as Morgor the Shadow Gave, because they have that Guardian trait. But it does look like the Dark Elf leadership is holding firm right now. Beastmen looking like the Gorbul is going to be lost here. It's beginning to rout. Very low on health, running out of here with barely any health left onto it, just over 400 HP. Terror kicking in on a lot of the Beastmen infantry and the Sons of Goros. Right now, it does look like this Charybdis was getting low on leadership, starting to waver, but at this point, it looks like the three amigos here of the Charybdis, the War Hydra, and the Chill of Sontar are keeping it together. They've got each other's backs. Marathi is running in between their legs and murdering everything, and the Black Art and Nagorond are still in here going strong. It's a pixelated mess, but we love it. Another Soul Stealer. Well, color me impressed. I like this Dark Elf build quite a lot. Alright, balance of power in the favor of the Dark Elves. War Hydra did just start to rout though. Charybdis trying to get back into the fight here. Get on top of Mr. Gorebull by the looks of it. Charybdis is now routing. I got carried away. This battle ain't over yet. Charybdis is routing. Beastmen have the forces to rout it off for good. And they've already killed the War Hydra. Chilisantar and Marathi still full health though. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Marathi getting up close and personal with Morgor. Morgor's stats going to be debuffed significantly by her. There goes a tear route on top of the Bray Shaman. Gorebull coming back, getting some nice swings in, but then biting the dirt. And Marathi and the Chilisantar looking like they're going to lead the last of the Blackguard to victory. Bray Shaman over here. I got you. Throwing down that pesky devolve. Excellent match between both these players. GG, well played. I'm sorry we missed the first round, but very good game to Pantalinade. Glad we were able to catch that second match. Better luck next time, my friend, and a huge congrats to RTK Human Boy Yes Yes for winning that 2-0 and progressing to the next stage of the tournament. Yeah, I'm glad everybody agrees in here. Jelliot and Jester HP, good to see you guys. Melid, good to see you. And Aw Mustard. Aw Mustard. Monsters of Marathi. Marathi getting over 2,000 KH in damage done. War Hydra, just about 1,000. Charybdis doing very well for itself. And Chilisantar leading the way with Marathi. Almost getting exactly the same damage value. Blackguard and Nagarond, MVPs too. They're just, all of them are MVPs. All of you are the most valuable players. For the Beastmen, I like this build a lot. Makes sense to me. Got the Gore Bull here, who got a lot of damage in 1,800. So he did his job. He just, couldn't pull it out in the end. He was, 1 against 3 after all. Morgor doing admirably, and same with the Bray Shaman. I like the spell selection there. In hindsight, a Traderkin would have been nice. Traderkin would have been able to do some good work against that Dark Elf blob. Help counter, the Soul Stealers, give them a little bit of taste of their own medicine. Centaurs doing a lot of good work there across the board. And, overall just a great series to both players. And a huge shout out to Human Boy Yes for bringing the 3 amigos, the War Hydra, the Charybdis, and the Chilisantar. You beautiful, beautiful Dark Elf. All right, Human Boy versus Dark Phoenix is actually the first semifinal, so let's go watch that while we wait for the other players to progress to the second semifinal. Dark Phoenix and Human Boy Yes. Oh, this should be a good matchup. Yeah. No, the Centaur play was very good from Pantalinade. All right, there it is. All right. We're good. Hey. Yeah, great build. Me too, bro. Me too. Yeah, I mean, nothing gives you quite as big of a chub as a double Hydra Charybdis build. Alright, so first semifinal of today's tournament. I'm just going to be waiting for Human Boy's opponent, which is going to be Dark Phoenix. Speak of the devil, he shall appear. I'm just kidding, I'm not saying he's the devil. BM Dark Phoenix. Alright, I'm actually going to take another quick bio break because I just drank a lot of coffee and a lot of water. So I'll be back. Stay hydrated out there, people. Stay hydrated. Oh, we're back. So, human boy, yes, yes, bringing the Lizardmen. Doesn't sound too human to me. And for his opponent, it looks like we're going to be seeing the Wood Elves. People seem to, I don't know if they like this matchup or it's just like Wood Elf mains and Lizard mains both think this matchup is better for their faction, but I see it a hell of a lot. But no problem with it. It's a fun matchup, and with the addition of Chameleon, Stalkers, and Coatl, you know, I think you might see some interesting new builds. Coatl probably not as likely, although I do want to see him in more Lizardman builds, especially with the Shredder of Lustria, because having that invisibility underneath its AoE is a pretty cool ability. Now, both players are ready, so let's go ahead and get to it. Oh crap. Red player, Dark Phoenix. Just forgot I didn't have my intro cards ready. And we all love the intro cards. We need the intro cards, don't we? So, lizards. Okay, and here we go, chat. See you on the battlefield. Here we have it, human boy, yes, yes, with the Lizardmen going up against Dark Phoenix and the Wood Elves. The map is going to be Langui, and let's cover the players' armies. So starting with our blue player, the Lizardmen. Human boy will be bringing a front line consisting of Saurus warriors, Skink cohort, and then we're going to be seeing some feral cold ones as well. Looks like 2 of them. So aside from that assorted mix of Saurus warriors with shields and Skink cohort, looks like there's 5 Skink cohort and 5 Saurus warriors with shields. We're going to have 4 feral cold ones. I thought there was only 2, but I stand corrected. Very big Lizardman army with a lot of mid-tier and low-tier units. We're also going to have Lord Mazdamundi sitting on top of his Pelican. Going to be bringing the ruination of cities, banishment, as well as just shield of the old ones, apotheosis, harmonic convergence, net of a mintok, and greater arcane conduit. Now, something else in the Lizardman army I failed to mention is going to be 5 Chameleon Stalkers. They are vanguarded in the back corners, 3 a pop. So if anything was deployed back there to try to catch them, they might actually be able to defend themselves. But there's one thing they wouldn't be able to defend themselves against, and it's the Wood Elf's rear guard here, which is the Lost Sylvan Knights, heavy-hitting elite Stag Knights, and they're ethereal to boot. 1 second. Okay, sneeze is done. Now for the rest of the Wood Elf army, and starting with the front line, going to have Eternal Guard with shields. It looks like shields on the flank, Dryads acting at the joint here, and then no shields for the frontline units. So we're going to have 3 with no shields, 2 with shields. Draika is going to be holding down the center, Penumbral Pendulum, and the Dryad summon, nothing else. Going to have a 3rd Dryad in the back line with 2 War Dancers, and then we're going to have the 5 Glade Guard with Starfire Shaft. So clearly a build he likes and is comfortable with against Lizardmen, and we're seeing it once again here, but against a very different Lizardman build. This Lizardman build is going to have nothing but cheap Feral Cav in the form of these cold ones. He's going to have a whole lot of numbers, you know, with the Skink cohort and the Saurus warriors, and the only single entity to speak of is Lord Mazdamundi, who I imagine is going to be playing this quite defensively, holding back, sitting in the trees for now, not giving away his hand. So Wood Elf's going to have to do a good job of cleaning up all of this Lizardman infantry before it overwhelms them and gets into the Glade Guard. Alright, Dryads coming out to play. Looks like they're going after the Skink cohort, but the Saurus warriors with shields are going to be able to getting a charge on their flank. War Dancers coming out to charge the Saurus warriors. Skink cohort coming out to intercept them a little bit, interrupt their charge. And now the Lost Sylvan Knights coming in, hitting that front line. But Wood Elves have a trick up their sleeves that it looks like the Lizardmen have not caught on to yet. The Chameleon Stalkers are coming around the flank with the cold ones, the feral cold ones. And yeah, look at this. Lizardmen getting in here, pretty much having complete element of surprise. But the front line is completely suffering right now. So right now, Lizardmen really have to close the gap as quickly as possible. Banishment coming down here, devastating one of the Glade Guard. Eternal Guard coming to intercept the feral cold ones. But the Chameleon Stalkers are coming in now. Penumbral Pendulum going across Saurus Warriors in the front line. This is a madhouse. Balance of power very even in favor of the Wood Elves slightly, but it's at anybody's game over here. Seeing that the Lost Sylvan Knights coming in, getting some devastating charges on top of the feral cold ones. They are terror routing almost immediately. But it is just a cacophony of madness. I can't even tell what's going on over here. Lizardmen, yeah, I think what's happening is the Lizardmen were winning that central engagement. Or no, the Wood Elves won the center engagement, and the Lizardmen, with those flanks reinforced by the Chameleon Stalkers, are starting to dominate on the wings. Well, at least this wing here, the Lizardmen right wing and the Wood Elf left wing. Up here towards the top of the fight, it looks like it's a lot more even. But War Dancers now in the mix, and Chameleon Stalkers look like they're going down pretty quick to them. Ooh, those bombs going in and doing some nice damage to the lightly armored Wood Elf infantry. Penumbral Pendulum coming through here. Yeah, Lost Sylvan Knights just really playing a key role here. Mazdamundi, if he can get a banishment or something on top of him, that would be key, because he needs to deal with them sooner rather than later. Their terror is just going to become more and more dominant as the game progresses. A lot of rampaging Saurus Warriors running towards the Wood Elf lines. Terror routes kicking in, though, because the Lost Sylvan Knights shielded the Elder Ones coming down from Lord Mazdamundi is still doing quite well for himself. Yeah, stags are super expensive, all mustard. No doubt about it. Oh, ruination of cities? But his Chameleon Stalkers! Why? Oh, no! The friendly fire, the ruination of cities, and to add insult to injury, it's in the shape of a dinosaur foot. Lost Sylvan Knights diving right into a banishment! Oh, it's not going to do too much damage. Oh, it did damage! It did some good damage, actually. Not as much as it could have, because they were kind of running all over the place. And it does look to me like the Wood Elves are getting that dominant lead in the balance of power. I'm not seeing enough Lizardman forces left to do anything here. The wide, cheap Lizardman build looking okay and promising in the beginning, but starting to peter out now, and it does look like Mazdamundi is going to concede defeat there. Human Boy, yes, yes. It's going to be trailing 0-1 to Dark Phoenix, who just took the first round. Thanks, Virgil Magi. Yeah, GG to both players. I mean, Stag Knights, once again, doing some great work. War Dancers seeming to perform a bit better there, too. Killing a lot of models from the Lizardman army. But, yeah, overall, it was just, you know, a combination of the terror, the firepower, and, you know, the War Dancers tipping the scales against some of those Saurus Warrior engagements. But I like the idea behind this Lizardman build. I think the Feral Cold Ones are an interesting choice, but they can have a tendency to backfire if your opponent brings, I mean, Stag Knights for sure. But even, you know, Wild Riders or something, I think would just destroy Feral Cold Ones. They're more expensive, of course, but, you know, I kind of think I agree with people who bring Cold One Riders over the Feral Cold Ones myself. Chameleon Stalkers, I do like that idea a lot, but I think the full Vanguard behind the Wood Elf army kind of backfired. I think if he kept them on the wings, he would have been having an easier time enveloping the Wood Elf front line. Also, I think if he would have led with the Chameleon Stalkers, gotten those explosive rounds off against the Wood Elf front line, and then pulled back and let the Saurus Warriors go forward, would have worked out better. It's just really hard to get the timing right if you have, 5 units deployed in the far back corners of your opponent's deployment zone. It's hard to get the timing right. And, he was almost spot on, but I think the Chameleon Stalkers were maybe about 30 seconds too late getting to the engagement, and if they would have timed it to be more in sync with the front line closing the gap, it would have had a much more devastating effect. But as it was, it looked like the Wood Elves were kind of able to address the front line, get a ton of damage done, and then turn around and relatively effectively deal with the Chameleon Stalkers. But great first round, Dark Phoenix leading 1-0. Let's see what happens in round 2. Yeah, that Ruination of Cities, I think he just didn't realize, maybe he's in debug cam. One of those reasons why I'm a firm supporter of not debug cam. Because I see it, and it's all assumption, but I feel like I see people not in debug cam. You're not as close to the game. You can't see where your actual pockets of, models are. And so sometimes you see all these enemy banners in one place, but then if you actually zoom in and look close, you see it's like, oh shit, I have a fat number of Chameleon Stalker models caught up where I just cast that. So I don't know, but arm blockers on. It looks like Human Boy, yes, going with Skaven. I believe one of his main factions. Skaven banning Beastmen and Warriors of Chaos. Will we be seeing our first Tomb King battle? All right, followers of Nagash versus Skaven. Hey, God of Gabos, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, I've heard it argued both ways, right face. I was convinced to bring Ruination of Cities when somebody's just like... So you think about it, it's like, if you get one of them, and I think you get 2, but if you get one of them to eliminate even a unit of clan rats, then that ability is paid for itself. And so when I think about it that way, I feel it's a bit more viable. But I agree, it's a playstyle thing. Banishment for sure, bring Ruination of Cities. It's definitely a bit random, but it does have the potential to pay for itself tenfold in the right situation. But me personally, I kind of, in general, of the philosophy that in most factions, not all, it pays to just bring more units than it does to bring more abilities and spells. Yeah, if your opponent blobs it on anything. But I mean, even if you just put it on top of an archer, like a high elf archer, let's say that's it. If it kills that high elf archer, it pays for itself twice. If it takes off half of health from that high elf archer, it pays for itself. So, yeah, free for all mosh pit for sure. It would be devastating. I do like in this current patch how the spells, a lot of them seem to be cheaper. Like Foot of Gork, I think is 145, at least for Wurzag. I like overall how the game is feeling right now. Excited for when the cav change comes in, but I myself have still found cav to be very useful and not completely useless, especially if you're using them the way they're intended, like rear charging and stuff. But I'm definitely excited for that beta to go live to fix the cavalry engagements with humans or infantry head on. All right, and here we go. Intro guard popping up as we load into the map. Human Boy, yes, yes, bringing the Skaven against VM Dark Phoenix and the followers of Nagash. Now, this is match point for Dark Phoenix as he does lead 1-0. The map is Cliff of Beast. Alright, starting with our red player, Dark Phoenix. We're going to have a pretty cool army here from the followers of Nagash. We've got 3 Crypt Ghouls on the left flank, 2 on the right flank for a total of 5. Got 3 Skeleton Spearmen. Got some Skeleton Warriors right here. And then for the remainder of just the infantry forces, we'll go to the Skirmishers. We got Blessed Legion of Kath, and then 2 additional Skeleton Archers. We're going to have a Screaming Skull Catapult, so named for very obvious reasons. We're also going to have a Skeleton Chariot in the center to support the infantry. Now, taking a higher level view to make sure I'm not missing anything, we'll get to the sexy part of the armies here. We have some Hex Wraiths. We got a Lich Priest of Death, going to be bringing Spirit Leech and Aspect of the Dread Knight, if I'm not mistaken. And then we are going to be looking at a Tomb King on top of a Chimerian Sphinx who has Scorpion armor, nothing else. So that is going to round out the Tomb King army. Now let's take a look at what the Skaven brought for us, and I lied. Tomb King army will also have a unit of Dire Wolves. Man, the followers of Nagash have a much better matchup against the Skaven than regular Tomb Kings, because Direwolves, Crypt Ghouls, Hex Wraiths, like, yeah, there's a lot of things that get added to that faction's toolkit that's going to help out. But Hex Wraiths are going to have to be careful, as there are 2 Warp Lightning Cannons on the field, one of which will be Ikit's Zap. Now, to cover the rest of this Skaven army, we have Skaven Slave Spears. Looks like we have 4 of them up front, make that 5. Clan Rat Spears, going to have 5 of them as well. We're going to have 2 Rat Ogres on either flank, one of which will be the Pit Fighters of Hell Deep. These guys have the Rampage, or no, not Rampage, the Berserker ability, and have immune to Psychology. Lord Skrulk with his usual loadout, except instead of Pestilent Birth, we're going to have Vermintide and Pestilent Breath. Got the Teeth Breakers Rattling Guns in the center. And 2 Assassins, both going to have Rival High Talisman and Assassin's Trophy. So that rounds out our Skaven army. And time to get to the fight. Warp Lightning Cannons opening fire. Some of them firing into the Tomb King by the looks of it. Others firing at the Skeleton Infantry. It looks like the Hex Wraith's going to do a good job staying up here on the plateau, out of firing range from the Warp Lightning Cannons, because the Warp Lightnings, you know, just the terrain is blocking their line of fire. Over here, Ikit's Zap and the Warp Lightning Cannon both targeting the Lich Priest of Death. Lich Priest of Death going to have a hard time dodging them, and he's just taking them to the face. Painful stuff indeed. Over here, Teeth Breakers, Rattling Guns pulling forward. Oh, their Smoke Bomb wearing out right when the Tomb King got in range of them. And so he's going to wise up and run away, but not before they get 1 volley off, which is going to apply that suppression and debuff his speed. Over here, Lich Priest of Death just getting dominated, and just like that, we may see a Tomb King army with no magic. And that's going to be a huge loss for the Tomb Kings, losing magic this early in the game. 2 misses that I'm sure the Lich Priest is very thankful for. Oh, that one was not a miss, though. And Tomb Kings, I'm sure, are feeling the pressure now. Dire Wolves look like they're coming out. putting a little pressure on the back line, but the Teeth Breakers are going to open fire on them, and that's going to be some significant damage. Rat Ogre's even going to be able to get in there and get a little bit of damage on them as they try to run away. So, Skaven right now playing this very well, looking pretty strong. We'll see what happens. Screaming Skull Catapult now getting targeted by the Warp Lightning Cannons, which the Lich Priest is crumbling right now. He's down to about 300 HP, taking another shot, and the Lich Priest is about to crumble out of existence for good. There he goes. And no magic for the Tomb Kings. But who needs magic, the Tomb Kings say, as they proceed to send dire wolves into the center, the ooey gooey center of the Skaven armies. But it looks like they may be getting sent there with no way to retreat. Clan Rats, Spears, and Rat Ogres going to be diving in and hitting them in the rear. Frontline engagements looking pretty good so far for the Tomb Kings, have to be honest. Once they close that gap, these Crypt Ghouls have just been making like bandits against all of this cheap Tomb King infantry. Or sorry, this cheap Skaven infantry. Skeleton Spears are not going to stand a chance. Screaming Skull Catapult applying that leadership debuff, a huge leadership debuff on whoever it hits, because it artillery leadership debuff plus its Screaming Skull debuff. Tomb King taking some damage, but he's prancing along proudly. And just look at this, the Skaven, so many routes going across the board right now. Their leadership just not holding up, and this could be a Tomb King wash right here. The Tomb King's just, yeah, it looks like they're coming back with a resurgence. The Skaven army looking super, super strong, but now the Tomb Kings just have this momentum and are just rolling over the Skaven infantry. And the Skaven just can't do anything about it, it seems. The terror route's proving to be super, super painful. The Assassin, Lord Skrulk, everybody going after the Tomb King, trying to eliminate him as quickly as possible. And you can still see a sliver of yellow up here in the balance of power, showing the Skaven aren't out of this yet. You know, Skaven are known to route, regroup, keep on coming back. So we'll see if any of these Skaven forces start coming back online. In fact, it looks like they're doing so now. We do have the Ushabti summon coming in. And the Egyptian Undead looking strong here as we approach the mid-game. Closing in on that late game. Hex rates look like they may be going down for the count soon here. But Blessed Legion of Akath shooting down the Pit Fighters of Hell Deep, which is a bad news bears. Standard ground has been popped here. A Clan Rat summon coming in. Looks like the hex rates are going to go down. They're crumbling. They're losing decisively. Over here, though, a big just fist of Crypt Ghouls and Skeleton Infantry. Followers in a gash. Looking pretty scary. Alright, Lord Skrulk. Pit Fighters of Hell Deep hanging in there. They're going down to about half health now, though. Skaven forces have regrouped and are starting to come back into the fight. I'd like to see them splitting up a bit more so they don't get all terror routed in one charge from the Tomb Cat. Balance of power starting to even up a bit, you know, each player kind of dominating in their respective sphere. More Skaven forces trying to regroup over here. Yep, Rat Ogre's diving in. Clan Rat's coming in over here now. These Tomb King forces need to get over here. Stat. Oh, Rod of Corruption going down. That Rod of Corruption is devastating. So many Tomb King forces caught up in it. Oh, a Pestilent Breath going down too. Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep look like they're going to bite the dirt, though. Bite the dust, whatever it is. You know what I mean. Tomb King coming in. Getting on top of the Clan Rats. And that terror should be kicking in shortly, especially with the Skeleton Chariots getting that rear charge on top of them. Pit Fighters are now routing. Lord Skrulk and his assassins are pretty much all alone at this point. You do still have Skaven regrouping on the peripheries, as they do. definitely don't think these guys should dive into combat. They should run this way, regroup with the pit fighters. At this point, just keep your Skaven units regrouping on the flanks and don't send them back into fight until you're absolutely sure they can do something. Over here, going to see the Assassin's Trophy on top of the Tomb King. The Assassins and Skrull, unfortunately, still just stuck in this mad combat against a bunch of Crypt Ghouls. Lord Skrull getting pushed out of the pocket by this chariot, and he is pissed. Tomb King coming out, getting on top of Lord Skrull, doing some nasty damage on the charge. That bonus versus infantry coming in handy here, and terror has kicked in. And the followers of Nagash are going to be defeating the forces of the Great Horned Rat in a 2-0 fashion. So, huge congratulations to VM Dark Phoenix for defeating a very good player here. And just a big shout out to Human Boy. Yes, he's hosting a lot of tournaments. He is also a great player. You know, Skrull getting a lot of value. Assassins doing well for themselves. I think at the end of the day, though, it was just when you're going up against the followers of Nagash, you got to remember the potential for these Crypt Ghouls. They're fast. They shred slaves. Arcade Box, thank you so much for the follow, man. I appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream, and if that was an accident, no refunds. And when it comes to the Skaven army, you know, had all the right ingredients, I think, to defeat a traditional Tomb King build, but, you know, he ended up having to fend off Hex Wraiths, Dire Wolves, 5 Crypt Ghouls. And the Skaven Slave Spears they didn't buy any time. They got routed immediately, shredded by these Crypt Ghouls, and then, you know, it was kind of a slippery slope from there, and just well played, very nice army from Dark Phoenix, and better luck next time to Human Boy. Yes, hope to see you in the tournaments to come, my friend. And big shout out to Dark Phoenix. He's heading to the final for today's tournament, so we'll see him in just a little bit. Alright, let's go see what's going on in the other bracket. So Pugnobon still facing off against Dactor. ODM Hanadins up against No Cane, No Gain. Alright, Pugnobon versus Dactor is currently in progress. And, yeah. Hanadins. Looks like we can get into this fight. Sweet. Hey, Human Boy, great games, man. Huge shout out, man. Those were fun. Especially the triple Hydra build. No, double Hydra Charybdis build. Oh, oh. Hanadins won first game. High Elves versus Tomb Kings. Cool. So let's get this updated. ODM Hanadins is going to be our blue player. I think our first ODM representative today. And he's up against... I'm going to go with what he's listed as on the tournament page, which is No Cane, No Gain. Tomb Kings, High Elves. Alright, sweet. So, Hanadins is up 1-0. I need to update that scoreboard before I forget. And it looks like they're ready. Guys, non-stop battles today, I have to say. Pretty good timing. We haven't had too much downtime between them. So, here we go. Get wet mile whistle. See you on the battlefield. And here we have it. ODM Hanadins with the High Elves taking on No Kane, No Gain with the Tomb Kings. This is round 2, and ODM Hanadins is on match point as he leads 1-0. And guess what? The map is once again Cliff of Beast. So named because it has a big cliff, and I'm guessing it's beastly. So, starting with our blue player as usual, we got the High Elves. Starting with the infantry, we have Spearmen. It looks like we're going to have 4 of these beautiful High Elf, pristine Spearmen. We're going to be looking at 2 Phoenix Guard. And then we're going to have some Lothern Sea Guard. It looks like 3 units of these Archer Spearmen hybrid. For the cavalry, we have the Fireborn, Regiment of Renown, Dragon Princes. We're also going to have 2 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers for that artillery support. We have a High Mage, who I knew was going to get deployed right then. She's going to be bringing Soul Quench, Hand of Glory, and Apotheosis. That is Hand of Glory, yes? Yes, indeed it is. Now, for the leader of this army, we have a Lithanar. Lithanar is going to be bringing the Moonbow, Mislead, Darken the Skies. He's got that martial prowess. Time to cover the Tomb Kings, ladies and gentlemen. In red and led by No Kane, No Gain, we have the Undead Tomb Kings, aka Egypt. Skeleton Horsemen, Skeleton Horse Archers, I mean to say. We're going to have 2 of them, one on either flank. Going to have some Skeleton Spearmen on either flank, and then here in the center, looks like 4 units of just Skeleton Infantry. In the back line, we're going to have some chariot action. Looks like we have 1-2 units of these chariots. On the right flank, looks like he's going to be going strong with Necropolis Knights. So just 2 of the regular variant. Also going to be seeing a Tomb Prince on top of a chariot. Make that 2 of these Tomb Princes. One will have Guardian. The other one will have... Oh, is that the Curse of Jaff? Indeed it is the Curse of Jaff. Now we have Cetra the Imperishable riding his Chimerian War Sphinx into the fight. He's got the Wrath of Tra, Naru's Incantation of Protection, Jaff's Incantation of the Cursed Blades, and Unyielding Will. That rounds out our players' armies. Let's see what happens. Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, I imagine going to be targeting Necropolis Knights, if I wouldn't be mistaken, but possibly the chariots. We will see. Also not bad to just eliminate horse archers as quickly as you can, I suppose. Killing models with pretty much every round, about 1 to 2 models. They're shifting up targets now, perhaps looking to hit the Tomb Princes. Alright, so High Elves at this point should be clear to them. They should, you know, start refusing the left flank, perhaps, since it's being overloaded. But it doesn't look like the High Elves are taking any action to do that. I would like to see him maybe start, you know, pulling back, refusing it, putting some of the halberds in positions to block it, and it looks like he's starting to do that just now. Over here, one of these Tomb Princes, look at him. He's so low on HP. Naru's Incantation of Protection on top of him, but even with 40% damage resistance, I don't think it's going to be enough. These Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers just have his number, and ouch! I didn't even update the scoreboard for Hanadins to recognize that he is the High Elf, so my apologies for that. I'll fix it after the game. Alright. Lothern Sea Guard and the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers firing in here. Ooh, that's going to add some blinded to these guys. Apotheosis going down on top of the Fireborn. The Spearmen holding in there, and I think the Fireborn have the advantage just with the Chaff Infantry supporting them, but it looks like they're going to be pulling out. I think a wise decision, just let these archers get as much damage done as they can. Right now, the High Elves do have a distinct advantage in the balance of power as they edge that red out of the middle. Over here, Skeleton Spearmen not being able to defeat the High Elf Spearmen, but looks like with the assistance of some chariots, they're able to win that convincingly, are now pushing through. But Phoenix Guard pushing forward to intercept the Tomb Kings that have compromised this portion of the front line. And they're still looking pretty strong overall. You know, the Tomb Kings right now, I think, are going to struggle to deal with Phoenix Guard. They don't have a lot to do anything against them. I'm trying to think of what they have. They have infantry to, you know, tar pit them. But, you know, the Necropolis Knights with halberds, Setch of the Imperishable, they're not going to want to go toe-to-toe with Phoenix Guard. That's just bad news. And both units of Phoenix Guard are still full health. And, you know, Fireborn coming over here to get some big charges. Now you see all of these Tomb King units hitting critical binding, having to pull back from the onslaught of the Fireborn. And the balance of power is still looking good for the High Elves. Doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Tomb King summons should be available pretty soon here. I think that was the third Realm of Souls that just popped. Fireborn coming out, trying to catch the Skeleton Horse Archers. But never mind, I got ahead of myself. They're going to turn around and they're going for a big charge after these Skeleton Chariots. Nice decision. Skeleton Chariots are probably the most scary thing the High Elves have to worry about right now, because they have such an infantry-focused build. Necropolis Knights tied up on Spearmen. Not going to be their best engagement. Spearmen are cheap and will last a long time against them. Over here, Alathanar getting attacked by Setch of the Imperishable, but Setch of the Imperishable not looking too good. These guys crumbling out. Tomb King Chariots in general just looking worse for wear. These guys hit a critical binding. Lithanard is still poking away. Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower up here still poking away, etc. Fireborn have gone into combat now. They're taking a ton of damage. It looks like they may be going down for the count. There goes a Terror out on top of them. But the Phoenix Guard are coming in from two sides now. And here they come up on the rear as well. Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower still just shredding Setch of the Imperishable, and the real Lilithanar continuing to do a lot of damage as well. Ooh, a swing and a miss! You're immortal. How did you miss that? You've had forever to practice, Alith. Alright, Setch of the Imperishable continuing to get focused down by the High Elf Artillery. Throwing down Naru's Incantation of Protection to give him that 40% ward save. Or no, sorry, 40% physical resistance. Oh, the Ushabti summon coming in. Doing a lot to help them in the balance of power. I mean, you can see it was completely yellow, but now it looks like it's not going to matter either way. Yellow starting to come back and dominate the balance of power once again. Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower still has a good amount of ammunition. It just needs to kill Setcher, and then I think it's GG from there. Phoenix Guard coming forward, getting a nice counter charge against all of these Necropolis Knights, and you can just hear them breaking like glass right now. Phoenix Guard just, no doubt, going to shred through all of that monstrous cav. Tomb Prince getting surrounded by Spears and Phoenix Guard. They poke his old bones till it turns to powder. Jaff. Oh, Curse of Jaff going down. Minus 24 melee attack. Rampage. Their chance to hit is now all the way down to, like, nothing. Setcher the Imperishable, though. Looks like he's about to tap out. Phoenix Guard showing no signs of breaking. Their leadership is getting low. And Balls of Anvil, a.k.a. No Cane, No Gain, will concede defeat. Hanniden's going to take a 2-0 victory in that best of 3. Yeah, so 2 Equal Call Bolt Throwers getting a lot of value there. Dragon Prince is doing their job. Phoenix Guard dominating there, especially in the late game. And Elithanar, look at that, 1800, doing good work. Setcher the Imperishable, one of the Tomb Princes doing okay. The other one got completely shut down in the early stages, as we saw there. Just got filled full of bolts and Elithanar arrows and some Lothran Sea Guard arrows. Chariots doing very well for themselves overall. Same with the Necropolis Knights, to be completely honest. But, you know, the infantry, the Horse Archers, and the Tomb Princes, I think, left a bit to be wanting there at the end of the battle. But a great game, No Cane, No Gain. Hope to see him in the tournaments to come. And a huge shout-out to ODM Hanniden's, who's now heading to the second semifinal. And he's going to be facing ODM Dactor. Alright, I'm going to find this match, get in the lobby, and take a quick break, stretch my legs. ODM Civil War might be them. Because this is ODM Dactor versus ODM Hanniden's. Ooh, yeah. Yay, I got it right. Alright, blue player. Dactor. Red player. ODM Hanniden's. B counts, Ben House, what else? Looks like we have vampire counts for Dactor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will be right back. Mustard, yes, they can use Legendary Lords. Back just in time. ODM Dactor bringing the vampire counts against ODM Hanadins with the Dark Elves in this ODM Civil War. How many times can I say ODM during this battle? We'll find out now. So, starting with our blue player, we have ODM Dactor with the vampire counts. Now, we're going to be seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of zombies with their red pants. Going to have a unit of skeleton warriors and 3 units of grave guard. We're going to have Helm Gorst on top of a corpse cart, as well as a necromancer on top of a corpse cart. He's going to have the Forbidden Rod, Raise Dead, and Invocation to Heck, Vigor Mortis, while Helman will have the Liber Noctis, Gaze of Nagash, and Awaken from the Grave. Now we do see 2 Vargulfs here, looking hideous and beautiful all at the same time. 2 Direwolves on the ground. Saw some Fellbats up in the air. I think there was only 1 of them that I know. Oh, just kidding. There's 3 of them. So, 4 of them. So yeah, a bit more than 1 of them. And then we're also going to have a vampire with the Lure of Death up on a Pegasus. And he's going to be bringing Spirit Leech. And what the hell is that ability that I can't make out? Immortal Will. Nice. So, now on to the Dark Elves. For the Dark Elves, we have Dread Spears and Bleak Swords making up that front line. We also have 5 units of, was that 4 or 5? I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of Black Art Corsairs with handbows. I absolutely love these guys. Some of the coolest skirmish infantry in the game. We have Dark Riders with shields. Looks like 2 of them on the right flank, 1 on the left flank supporting 3 Dark Riders with repeater crossbows. And then we have Doomfire Warlocks as well. Up in the air, we got Marathi. She's going to be supported by the Black Art Corsairs with handbows and the repeater crossbows if there's any air force that she has to deal with. We got the Wand of Carried On, Soul Stealer, Heartrender the Dark Sword, and Enchanting Beauty, along with Greater Arcane Conduit. Gaze of Nagash. Ooh, nice damage on top of Marathi. Mama Marathi not enjoying that one bit, but she does have a means to heal herself with that Soul Stealer. Nice damage going in on top of the vampire. Marathi's trying to get in here and catch him. Or her, I should say. So she's going to be able to get a hit in there. Some Fellbats are going to be coming in to help out, though. But Soul Stealer, you know, that's the problem for him. Soul Stealer going to be here to heal him up, and now the Black Orc Corsairs are shooting the vampire in the back. And you're going to have to run away. Marathi just too difficult. Vampire coming back to fight Marathi, though. Will she be okay? Marathi taking some serious damage. Oh, Gaze of Nagash. Oh, Marathi! Can the vampires finish her off? She is at 1. Oh, she shattered. Wow. Odium Dactyr. Dirty, dirty boy. That Gaze of Nagash completely devastated Marathi. Holy hell. What a play. Dark Elves not out of it yet, though. They still have all of their army together besides Marathi at this point. And they have a lot of missiles to go pew-pew with. Right now, Dark Rider's doing a good job eliminating the Dire Wolves, and that's really the only good mobility this vampire army has. So in spite of that initial loss, and it's a heavy loss to be sure, I don't think the Dark Elves are out of this yet. These 3 repeater crossbows are going to shred Graveguard, no problem. And there's no Direwolves to try to, you know, screen them away or anything. Now we have Doomfire Warlocks pushing in here. You know, this is overall just kind of a slow vampire count army. So maybe this Dark Elf army can win by the virtue of its own build. We will see. Right now, Graveguard with great weapons, at least the one on the far right, very, very tattered. Black Art Corsairs are now running away from it, refusing that engagement. Looks like most of the Dark Elf forces are trying to do that. Bleak Swords coming in to fight. But they're very cheap chaff infantry, so they're not super worried. Vampires trying to stay generally grouped up. Alright, repeater crossbows getting some good damage in. You can, yeah, the Dark Elves, as long as they're smart with their ammunition and are patient, they should be able to, you know, shoot this army to death. But maybe I'm just talking out my ass here. You know, there's a lot of healing potential here, a lot of HP to get through when you look at Helmengorst, the Necromancer, Krell, who will inevitably get summoned, 2 Vargulfs, you know. It's going to be a tough fight, I think. Also, now the vampires have nothing to worry about in terms of Soul Stealers. Over here, Soul Blight coming down, though, catching a lot of the vampires in it. Debuffing armor. most importantly, so these hand bows can get as much damage down as possible. Balance of power continuing to go further in favor for the vampire counts. Doombolt going down, hitting Helmingorst, doing a touch of damage. Rick02, thank you so much for the follow. I do appreciate it, friend. Hope you're having a good time. But yeah, Dark Elves, we'll see if they can do it. Right now, vampire counts looking like they're in a pretty strong position. But I stand by my assessment that the Dark Elves, you know, they got a lot of firepower still. So they just need to snipe down some key units, and I think they still stand a chance. But we will see. Direwolves are crumbling, but trying to come over here to chase off some repeater crossbows, but now getting countercharged by the Dark Riders with shields, supported by some Dread Spears. Over here, Doomfire Warlocks getting into combat. They have pretty high resistance to physical damage. I want to say it's 40% if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 40% physical resistance, so they're tough to get damage on without any magical stuff. Dark Riders diving into the Bargolfs, trying to buy some time, some breathing space for the Black Art Corsairs, who should be able to turn around here and shoot them. They don't even need to turn around to fire, actually, but yep, there goes a nice volley into the Bargolfs. Helmingorst approaching his healing cap. Zombies getting summoned once again. Doomfire Warlocks in combat with the Bargolf. Not their best engagement, but the physical resistance is still helping them a lot. But Terror going to kick in as they are not immune to psychology. Repeater crossbows desperately trying... I mean, I don't know where they're running from right here. They need to just be firing away. Just doesn't look like they're getting enough damage. They're also taking their sweet time to fire. Okay, so there they go, eliminating the Grave Guard. At this point, focus on Hellman. He's at his healing cap. Killing the leader of the army will do a lot of damage to the morale of the vampire forces, which you desperately need. And then if you eliminate the Necromancer, I think the Vargolf leadership won't hold up. Right now, it looks like a full surround going down on top of this Vargolf. They're hitting it in the rear. They're trying to break its leadership, get it to crumble. Terror kicking in, though. Yeah, Slanesh or the Doomfire Warlock's not holding it together there. Terror just kicking in immediately. And now the repeater crossbows, one's out of ammunition. The other ones are very low on ammunition. And, oh, can they do it? They're trying so hard to kill Helmingorst, but balance of power is so far against the Dark Elves now. It's absolutely insane. Alright, Doomfire Warlocks diving in. They're trying to go all in on top of this Vargolf. Invocation to Heck just went down on it, though. Oh, repeater crossbows getting Helmingorst out in the open. They have one more volley, I believe. Over here, Vargolf still just tearing through things. Oh, Terror out kicking in there. Vargolf hitting critical binding, debilitated. Oh, Helmingorst taking another volley. He's losing some HP. Oh, another unit of repeater crossbows just came in. Bleak Swords are diving in to try and support. Helmingorst may be going down. He is crumbling. What's his HP? What's his HP? 650. Okay. He's still okay for now. Yeah, balance of power kicking in. Army losses. Ah, there it goes. A noble effort from ODM Haddadins and the Dark Elves, but ODM Dactor, after that beautiful snipe with the gaze of Nagash on top of Marathi, able to pull through a victory there with the vampire counts. Kemmler and Quapscott. Helmingorst, my bad. This is Helmingorst, not Kemmler, my bad. I also mentioned he was summoning Krell. This is Gorst, not Kemmler. I got it wrong. So sue me! Yeah, Vargol's just not dying. Yeah, their animations are pretty effective at dodging missiles, but in that one, they were just having a field day, it seemed. Graveguard with great weapons, some of them getting really nice damage. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Balance of Power really hated those Corsairs with Hambos for some reason. But I suppose it was tough. This is the only leadership unit in the Dark Elf army, whereas over here, you can kill two of them and they'd still have one leader. But nonetheless, I still like this Dark Elf build a lot. I think it's pretty cool. Marathi, I think just not recognizing, and I was kind of included there, like exactly how in danger she was. Toe to toe, she should beat a vampire in the air. But with one Gaze of Nagash bringing her health pretty low, and then another one sneaking up behind her and just shattering her, that was a very nice plated actor. Let's throw up that army blocker, update the scoreboard to 1-0, and I will be right back because I was making food, but then the battle started. So I'm going to go continue to do that and eat that food as quickly as I can. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the battles, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and cover our red player, as Odium Dactyr currently leads 1-0. Now for the Forces of Chaos. Chaos Marauders. Looks like we're going to have 4 of them on the field of battle. We're also going to be seeing some Forsaken. We then have the Regiment of Renown Chaos Warriors, the Mirror Guard. Some Chaos Chariots. Chaos Knights with Lances. I love this build. And then we're going to have a healthy number of skirmishers in the form of Marauder Horsemen and 2 Marauder Horsemasters, and then 2 Chaos Warhounds with poison. Now for the leadership, we are going to be seeing Prince Sigvald the Magnificent, everybody's favorite tanky infantry lord. He's going to have Slippery, Stand or Die, and Oryx Armor. Then we have the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal, who's going to be bringing Scroll of Shielding, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom. Alright, now we have the Greenskin Forces, the Orcs and Goblins and Trolls. Oh my! We have 2 units of Forest Goblin Spider Riders on the right flank and 2 on the Greenskin left flank. We're going to be seeing some Black Orcs in the front line mixed with Orc Boys, so 2 Black Orcs make it 3 Black Orcs. The 8-Peak Loonies, Unbreakable Night Goblin Fanatics. We got ourselves some Boar Chariots. And then a second unit of Boar Chariots, a Hammer of Gork Regiment Renowned Goblin Rock Lobber. And then we have some Orc Boys in the rear too. For the leadership in this army, we have a River Troll Hag, Mither Spirit Leech, Grom the Paunch with the Lucky Banner, Axe of Grom, Degrade on his Here, and Language of the Boys. Overcast Spirit Leech going down on top of the Marauder Horsemen. Interestingly enough, I would have expected to see that on the Chaos Sorcerer. Right now, skirmish phase underway. Looks like the Rock Lobbers are focusing on the Mirror Guard, as are some of these Forest Goblin Rider archers. That was unfortunate. All right, Chaos continuing to push forward in a generally orderly fashion. I can't speak right now. It's because I've been streaming for over 3 hours now, and that's when I start to become tongue-tied quite often. But Chaos moving forward in an orderly fashion. The Mirror Guard have finally gotten through, closed the distance, and gotten on top of the Orc Boys, but they are greeted by Grom the Paunch and Orc Boar Chariots diving into them and doing quite a lot of damage. They are now turning hard right and diving through the Chaos Marauders that are engaged with these Black Orcs. We're going to be seeing Searing Doom cast down on top of the 8-Peak Loonies, taking some serious damage. Black Orcs getting on top of the Chaos Knights with Lances. Oh no, the Chaos Knights need to run away. They're going to take some serious damage there. You know, about a quarter of their health going down right there. But they are going to be able to extract themselves with their superior speed. Just didn't want to see him go down that quick. You know, I do like me some Chaos Knights. I'm a little biased there. Greenskin's looking pretty strong here. Central engagement's definitely going their way. But Chaos Knights coming in, they have that big charge bonus of 80, and they are going to be hitting those Black Orcs in the rear, so their stats are going to be insane on the charge. Grom the Paunch getting on top of these Marauder Horsemen. They are not faring too well. I just missed a Searing Doom. Looks like it was cast over here on top of the Rock Labas. Chariots diving into the Warhounds. Yeah, Greenskin's looking pretty strong here. Not over yet, though. Wordspawn just getting in combat with the last of these Black Orcs, and that debuff to their armor with the armor sundering, bringing their armor down to 80. That's going to help out quite a lot. Maybe not enough for the Forsaken to turn the tide of the battle. Oh, but here's something that may Chaos Knights with lances coming in for a rear charge. Oh no, they kind of whipped it there for some reason. Oh, nicely done. He was going to get hit with the Searing Doom and he dodged it. So now he turned and is chasing after Greenskin skirmishers at the moment. But we do see a Mither going down, but Scroll of Shielding coming down too to help give him that 20% ward save as they dive into combat against these Orc boys at a very slow pace. Orc Chariots now coming around on the rear. And these Chaos Knights have just had a rough time. Looks like they may be going down pretty hard here. Wa just got popped as well. Marauders coming in trying to help play some blocking defense. But looks like that's going to be all she wrote. I don't see the forces of Chaos being able to pull it back here unless something crazy happens. Ooh, nice Searing Doom though. Chaos Chariots coming in from the other side. Word Spawn diving in as well. Looks like Chaos is going all in on this central engagement, just throwing everything they have into it. Sigvald Magnificent getting into combat. It looks like he's coming after Grom. Sigvald getting hit with the fish sack. Another nice Searing Doom. Going on top of that cheap infantry. And that looks like it's going to be it, folks. Chaos Sorcerer Metal stay hanging in there. River Troll Hag getting on top of him, though. Prince Sigvald the Magnificent now tangled with a bunch of Black Orcs. But he does have some Word Spawn supporting him, once again giving that, you know, armor sundering. But across the rest of the field, it looks like Chaos is on his last legs. Searing Doom coming in here, trying to hit those Black Orcs. But they did a good job overall of pulling out of there, avoiding most of the damage. ODM Hanneden's going to concede defeat, and despite some valiant effort, he's going to be losing that best of 3 2-0 to his clanmate, ODM Dactor. But seriously, big shout out. Everybody give Hanneden some loves in the chat. He played that very nicely. All the games we watched him play today. This greenskin build, though, just being executed very, very well. Everything doing its part. The Hammer Gork, too, just really doing well, paying for itself and then some. But yeah, I mean, not much to say there. I'm just not a big Sigvald guy. But also, I stand by what I said before I think I said it before the match at least. I think Chaos has a difficult time against greenskins in general. I think this isn't their strongest matchup. But on that note, we have a final to get to, chat. So, GG, well played. GG, well played to both players. Better luck next time, Hannedens, and we'll see you in the final, Dactor. So, might just hang out here and invite our other player into this lobby. So, alright, never mind. Surprise, surprise. Dactor is going to concede because he has to go rock climbing, which is a legitimate thing to do. So go rock climb, get outside, exercise, and he's letting his clanmate Hannedens play. Alrighty. Let's see if we can just invite Dark Phoenix here. That is who is in the other final bracket. Yep. ODM. So it's going to be ODM Hannedens versus BM Dark Phoenix. And Hannedens is representing ODM Dactor in the final. I think Chaos still has its matchups where it shines. I like Chaos. I'm a Chaos player for sure. Alright, I'm just going to rejoin real quick, make sure everything's gravy. Yeah, stay in that lobby, Hanadins. I was just coming back, unless it's not working for you guys or anything. Yeah, it's looking good for me. See ya, Hanadins. Good luck, my friend, and good luck to VM Dark Phoenix. So yeah, ODM versus VM. What do we got here? So it's here at last, folks. The final. Still going to be a best of 3. So stream should be over in about an hour to 2 hours, depending on how crazy this best of 3 is. But I'd be very surprised if it went 2 hours. And just like that, I jinxed it. It's going to be a 3-hour final. Pick Wood Elves, ban Greenskins, and Lizardmen for Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix been using High Elves quite a lot today and using them to great effect. I don't think we've seen his High Elves lose as of yet. And Empire from Hanadins. Sweet, we haven't seen the Empire today. The Empire. Alright, just getting that intro card ready. And to let me know who you think's going to take it in the chat here. You guys got your money on ODM, or sorry, ODM Hanadins, or you got VM Dark Phoenix. All right, we have Hanadins confirming that he is ready to go. Just waiting on the word from Dark Phoenix, and it looks like he just readied up. So both players are signaling that they're ready to fight. Let's get to it, chat. So here it is, VM Dark Phoenix bringing the Wood Elves against ODM Hanadins and the Empire. Round 1 of their best of 3 final.